Hi everyone, Pat Subtle with HVT, coming to you with a double rebuild. I rarely do double rebuilds for the channel, but I figured today we would be doing a double rebuild on two of our Tropicana juice cards made by Lionel in different eras. We have one with a split chassis, as you see here, and we also have one that does not have the split chassis, but has two body screws, one on each end to hold everything together. And as you can see, the tooling are those plastic pins, and there are some areas we're going to go over, and we're going to also rebuild them with the classic 6-140/78 trucks. And we will need a screwdriver, and also for the smaller screws, you're going to need a smaller screwdriver, which I'll go over that in just a couple of minutes. And we will also need a pair of needle nose pliers with the cutters in the middle to break off those plastic pins. So just give me a few minutes and we will begin with this double rebuild. All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and look at the different one first, and then we'll work on the second one. The first one that we're going to work on has the body screws, one on each end of the car. One thing I recommend doing is taking out the wheel and turning the couplers inward, so you won't have to fiddle with those moving back and forth. As in one of the recent videos, I talked about the different types of tooling that Lionel has used over the course of the last 30 or 40 years. And with the Reefers, they've changed that a little bit depending on when the car was produced. So you have some that have the split frame, as you see here, and you also have some with just two body screws. So when you look at your Reefers, look at the underside very closely, because it will determine what you need to do with the car. And in this case, it's just take out two body screws and you're good to go. So you just take out one wheel. And now the body screws have probably not been open, never been unscrewed before. So what you can do is you can take just a dab of oil, a couple of dabs, one on each screw, and just let it sit for a few moments to allow the oil to go in and just break the seal. Now, I just checked, we can actually use our number 2 Phillips in this case, so you don't need the smaller screwdrivers, but it's good to have a set of smaller screwdrivers in your handy-dandy toolbox. So, while we're at it, we can definitely look at some of these wheels. There's a couple of them that I pulled off that are decent. This one's definitely bent, and this one has some grooving on it too. It's kind of rough right there on the edge where it has rubbed against the track. So that's definitely a candidate to be retired. Couplers aren't bad, but they are weak. So while the oil is still penetrating down there, I'm just going to take off the wheels. And if you guys have wheels that are decent, may not be perfect, but you can be able to reuse them again, do it. Just trying to look at some wheels really quick here. This was not too bad. All right, so now we just take our screwdriver, put it in the hole, and just unscrew it. Might have to use a smaller one to get in there. Yep. Let's figure what I expected. So for the body screws, you're going to need a number 1 Phillips. I had this in my kit. You just have to line it up in there, and it's going to take a few turns to get it out. And if you want to, you can put another squirt of oil in there to get down in there on the threads. And you can see the shell is already coming loose, which is a good thing. Then for the other one, keep the truck in and just simply unscrew it. That one is in there really, really tight. Let the oil sit in that one a little longer. So, just turn it, and what the shell's going to do is it's going to pop loose. I'm going to let the oil sit in here for just a few more minutes, and I'll be right back. All right, everyone. After letting the oil sit for a couple more minutes, I got one screw loose, and this is a number 1 Phillips. And get one with a decent handle on it. Let the oil sit on it, and now the shell will just pop off. And being really careful not to lose the screws. That's one screw. Got both of them out. And you can just see it just slides right off. Keep your screws together. All right, and this is what we have to work with. So, just as before, clean off our work area a little bit. Take your needle nose pliers. Move it back and forth, just enough to weaken the plastic a little bit. You can see right there I have actually weakened that plastic. Now we'll do the other one the same way. And that one just slipped right off. I'll get the pin out in just a second. Give it a few more levers for luck. See if I can try to break it a little bit more. Aha! Got it. Then, in case you have a pin stuck, go with your index finger and just push it back. Snip it. And that pin just pops right off. Okay, all stripped down, ready for a box of trucks. Okay. Okay. We got our grommets, and we also have our screws. We just put the grommet on the screw, stick it in the hole, and then we line up everything. You roll a truck underneath it. You put the screw in the hole first. Make sure you get it lined up, and make sure you can start it by not crossing the threads. Then take your number 2 Phillips and just screw it down. That's all you have to do. And you got to make sure there's play in these cars so you can be able to turn the truck. And now we do the same thing. Okay, trucks are good. They're good and tight. Now it's time to put the cover back on. And the brake wheel looks good on it. And then we just take the cover of the car and we line it up with those two little grooves right there. And it just slides back on. Then we just put the two screws back in with our number 1 Phillips. And get a decent screwdriver when you do this, especially one with a good handle. So now we just tighten up the frame screws. Well, the body screws, I should say. And it should go in now since they have just a hint of oil on them. And just note from the previous video of the tooling, the Lipton boxcar has this tooling on it. They did away with the split frames to keep the frames from getting bent. They decided to use plastic. They used the screws to mount the plastic body. Now, this one is done. You might get a little bit of dirt on these, so just wipe it down with a little bit of cleaner, and she's good to go. So that's that one. Now, the next one, as you might have seen, the tooling is a little bit different. It's a little bit more simple on this one because everything is done without taking the car apart. It still has these plastic pins, as you see here. So now, we look at the inspection on this car. Okay. The wheels have definitely been on the track some. Okay. They definitely have some wear on these. And some of these wheels are chipped, especially on the back edge. If you see some wheels that are chipped on the back edge, you definitely need to get those off to prevent, the shards of metal getting onto your track and causing short circuits. So, to simply undo the frame, we just take the number 2 Phillips. We just unscrew it. No oil. Okay. And the split frame just comes off like this. And the shell can just be on the side, and you can see this is just a one piece if you ever need to go inside. Just like the one over there, the top just slides off, which you probably will never have to do. Now this tooling, pretty simple. Take your pliers, work the plastic back and forth with your index finger holding down the push pin. You can actually move the truck in this case enough to loosen the plastic. And then it will just pull right off. And being careful not to bend the metal. Okay. Okay. Get that pin off. Cut it flush with the metal. And that piece of plastic is off. old parts over there. And now we just do the next truck the same way. Get a grip on it. Got it. Okay. Now we just cut our pin off. Flush to the metal. And that's it. Car stripped down. I will also be painting the split frames. I'll do that off camera. And I will also be touching up the screw as well. And for the screw, just simply clean the threads a little bit. Touch up with some paint. And it's good to go. So we have successfully rebuilt one. We've got the second one on the way to be rebuilt. So once the paint dries, we'll be able to put it back together and have them on the layout for a little bit. So with that being said, I will paint the frames and I will be back so we can put this baby together. Hi everyone. As the paint is drying on the split frame car, as you all can see on this wheel, there's a lot of roughness around that back edge. You can see it goes around about a third of the wheel, and then it comes back around again to about another maybe quarter of the way around the wheel. That is a sign of serious wear, and even on the other side, it's the same thing. If you ever see a wheel like this, or it is chipped on the edge, see right there's a small chip in that wheel, the wheels need to come off. And people ask me, why are you supposed to get the wheels off? Because the shards of metal that come off the wheel, you won't see them go all over your track, but there is a chance that those shards may hit the dinky third rail in the middle and short out anything. My Hills Brothers boxcar had this issue. I removed the trucks and put brand new ones on it, and it's been running fine ever since. So if you see that, so look at your wheels carefully. If you can be able to replace wheels, you can, but not something like this. If you see jagged edges on the back or the front edge of any sort of O gauge, HO wheel, anything, those wheels come off. You replace them with new, or you get the whole new assembly. I recommend getting the whole new assembly. So that's just a safety tip when rebuilding these cars. Hi everyone, it is day number 2 of the project, and the frame pieces have all been painted. I spray painted them with some black paint, and also gave the screw a little touch up as well, and I let those bake in the furnace room for about a day and a half. Both of them got 2 coats of paint, and the heat from the furnace allowed the paint to cure nicely, which I really am happy with. So now it is time to put the split frame back together and reassemble this car. Now, before you put on the frames, the tabs have got to go up like this. And the screw and the grommet goes in the hole closest to this little divot right here in the metal. Because from here, once the tab goes in, it just goes right in that little hole. That's all it does. So we just line up the hole with our screw and grommet. You can get it finger tight, then just take your number 2 Phillips and go ahead and secure it. Making sure it's in good shape. One more time for good measure. Then we just set it in here like this. Tab goes in first, then lines up with the hole right there drilled into the split frame. It lines up with that white peg there. Now, we just repeat the process. We line up our hole, and same process. Remember not to cross the threads on these holes, as it will mess up the alignment. So we take our Phillips head, we do the same thing. Very little give, which is a good thing. Now we just simply just drop it in. And now the last thing that needs to come on is the split frame screw. And we just screw it back to screw the frame together. And that's it. So in summary, on this particular project, we've rebuilt 2 Tropicana reefers. 2 of them with 2 different style of tooling. We did one with a split frame and one with 2 frame mount screws. Depends on when the car was manufactured, you will have different tooling. So this is something to look out for when it comes to this. With this top one, the only thing we had to do was take the car apart and put the trucks on. This one had to get a brand new coat on the split frame. But split frame actually looks really good now. Looks like it's well taken care of. So why don't you say we put them on my layout. We're going to run around the layout for a minute. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that completes this double rebuild on Heritage Village Trains YouTube channel. I hope you all enjoyed this rebuild of 2 Tropicana juice cars that go with our juice train, featuring one of my trains, my Milwaukee Road 2338, and some of my Lionel cars, except one of the cars is MTH, the NS tanker, with the safety train portion of the train. And this was a lot of fun to work on 2 of these reefers. I love the way Lionel did these. And they did it for so many brands. Lipton Tea, I had an example up there tonight. They did Hills Brothers. Domino's Sugar was another one. Morton Salt, Sun-Made Raisins. Gerber Baby Food, as a matter of fact, they did one for them. Mr. Goodbar, Butterfinger, you name it. There's a lot of food brands out there that Lionel did. And, of course, they've always done Coca-Cola. So, anyway, as you can see, we've got some of the class of cars. Schlitz Beer being another one. Just one that they did, and these are good little reefers to work on. And you all got to see one of my engines, my Lionel GP7 2338, built in the mid-90s, and it is still running today. So, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed. Please remember to smash the like button, drop a comment down below, and please hit the subscribe button. Our channel is quickly growing. It's gaining a lot of support, and we thank you for your gracious and generous support. Your support means the world not only to us as an organization, but to the future of our club and our channel. Thank you all so much for your kind and generous support, and we will see you on the next production. Thank you very much. May God bless, and Heritage Village Trains, leading the way in local model railroading entertainment.